The last week has seen the past busy giving up its secrets. We've got a Bronze Age hoard buried for safekeeping and never reclaimed, a stash of Spanish treasure pulled from the ocean depths, and a 14,000-year-old pot of blue paint that's rewriting what we thought we knew about Stone Age art. From Troy to Glasgow, deserts to seabeds, humanity's fingerprints are turning up everywhere. So grab your trowel and hit subscribe, because this is Archaeology This Week, where we dig into the latest discoveries, the strangest finds, and the stories time tried to bury. Our first stop takes us to the Black Sea coast of Russia, where archaeologists at Phanagoria have uncovered a rather cheeky relic from the ancient world, a terracotta satyr mask, still grinning after more than 2,000 years underground. The find was made near the ruins of a Greek theater, and the mask's expression, somewhere between mischievous and drunk, suggests it once belonged to a performance honoring Dionysus, the god of wine, chaos, and good stories. Phanagoria was one of the great Greek colonies of the region, a buzzing port city that later tangled with Persian kings and Roman emperors. This latest discovery adds color to the city's theatrical life, confirming that it wasn't just a trading hub, but also a cultural center with a taste for the dramatic. The mask's survival is remarkable, given its delicate clay structure, and even the faint traces of its original paint can still be seen under the dirt. 2 millennia later, it seems the satyr still hasn't sobered up. You might not picture medieval history lurking beneath a modern car park, but that's exactly what archaeologists in Glasgow have just uncovered. In the city's Gallowgate area, a team from Guard Archaeology found the remarkably well-preserved remains of wooden posts, woven fencing, and pottery buried more than 14 feet below the streets we walk today. These fragile traces date back to the 13th and 14th centuries, when Glasgow was still a fledgling burg on the edge of the Molendinar Burn, the same stream where St. Mungo is said to have founded his church. The waterlogged conditions that once flooded the area have turned out to be a blessing, perfectly preserving the timbers and wattle structures. It's a rare glimpse into the earliest days of urban life in Scotland's biggest city, showing how its first suburbs took shape along the muddy riverbanks. As the dig wraps up to make way for new social housing, the artifacts will be cleaned, studied, and eventually displayed, a tiny wooden time capsule from the birth of Glasgow itself. At the Fitzwilliam Museum in Cambridge, a new exhibition is letting us glimpse the everyday lives of the people who actually built ancient Egypt. Forget the pharaohs for a moment. These are the workers, craftsmen, and administrators who kept that grand machine running and sometimes called in sick. Among the artifacts on display are 3,000-year-old ostraca, shards of pottery used as makeshift notepads. One such note records a worker named Panabu missing a day's labor after being bitten. Sadly, he doesn't say what actually bit him. Others detail foremen off ill or entire crews taking time off to attend funerals. These ancient memos sit alongside receipts for coffin making, urgent orders for windows, including a demand for a window that needs to be completed by the following day, and sketches of work in progress. They reveal not just the organization of Egypt's workforce, but their humor, irritations, and humanity. The ostraca, many on loan from the Louvre, bring to life an ancient bureaucracy that feels oddly familiar, complete with deadlines, workplace injuries, and the occasional sick day. Proof, perhaps, that even in the Valley of the Kings, people still longed for a day off. In the quiet highland village of Rosemarkie, archaeologists have unearthed a Bronze Age mystery that feels almost heartbreakingly human. Hidden beneath a modern housing development lay a small cache of treasures, 9 bronze ornaments, including 6 bracelets, and a complex ringed pendant adorned with dozens of tiny loops. These items, stacked neatly and wrapped in bark and bracken, were buried nearly 3,000 years ago. Whoever hid them clearly intended to return, yet never did. Their valuables remained undisturbed, waiting through millennia of silence for rediscovery. Guard Archaeology's team believes the find belonged to a tight-knit community living here for centuries, perhaps one family line passing down the same roundhouse site generation after generation. The care with which the hoard was packed suggests its owners viewed it as more than just metal. It was identity, memory, wealth. Among the traces of smelting and mold fragments nearby, archaeologists even found signs of local metalworking. The Rosemarkie hoard isn't just treasure, it's a time capsule from Scotland's deep past, a reminder that behind every find lies a story of intention and loss. Off Florida's shimmering coast, treasure hunters have struck literal gold, over 1,000 coins from the legendary 1715 Spanish treasure fleet. It's a story that reads like something out of a pirate film, only this one's real. In July 1715, 12 Spanish galleons packed with gold and silver from the New World set sail for Spain. Days later, a hurricane ripped the fleet apart, scattering its cargo and hundreds of lives across 50 miles of coastline. For centuries, the wreckage slumbered beneath the waves, its secrets buried in sand and salt. Recently, divers from 1715 fleet Queen's Jewels surfaced clutching history in their hands. Silver reales, gold escudos, even rare artifacts likely from a single shattered chest. The coins, some still bearing crisp mint marks from colonial Mexico and Peru, are astonishingly well preserved. While their monetary value is immense, their real worth lies in what they represent. The hubris of empire, the risks of maritime fortune, and the enduring magnetism of lost treasure. Soon to go on display in Florida museums, these pieces remind us that every coin tells two stories, one of wealth and one of wreckage. Deep in the Saudi desert, where dunes now swallow the horizon, archaeologists have uncovered evidence of a world that was once alive with water and creativity. High on a sandstone cliff, they found more than 170 rock engravings, some of them life-sized camels, ibex, and wild donkeys, carved around 12,000 years ago. These weren't random doodles, they marked vital watering holes in what's now the Nephid Desert, long before the Arabian sands took over. The team used luminescence dating to pinpoint when the ancient artists worked, discovering tools buried in the sediment that hadn't seen daylight for 12 millennia. Among them was even the tool used to carve the engravings themselves. These prehistoric artists weren't isolated nomads, either. They shared jewelry and tool styles with people hundreds of miles away in the Levant. The engravings, some stretching nearly 10 feet across, stood as timeless markers of survival and ingenuity, guiding travelers to life-giving oases in a landscape that would soon become one of the harshest places on Earth. It's hard to picture the Gobi Desert as anything other than a sun-blasted wilderness of dust and rock. But 8,000 years ago, it was teeming with life. Archaeologists from the University of Wrocław have revealed that this now hostile landscape once shimmered with lakes and wetlands, supporting thriving communities of hunter-gatherers. Excavations at the Lewiden Toirum Paleolake and the so-called Flint Valley uncovered jasper blades, pottery fragments, and traces of ancient camps, proof that the Gobi was once a far cry from today's barren expanse. Sediment samples and luminescence dating show that between 8,000 and 5,000 years ago, the region was a network of freshwater oases. The people who lived there crafted intricate microblades for butchery and plant work, moving between valleys and mountains as the climate shifted. Their stone tools reveal both survival and sophistication, with signs of long-distance trade and adaptation to changing environments. Far from a dead zone, the ancient Gobi was a green, living corridor, a reminder that even deserts have their golden ages. Troy may be best known for its legendary horse, but the latest discovery there is pure treasure, literally. Archaeologists in northwestern Türkiye have uncovered a 4,500-year-old gold ring brooch and a rare jade stone, both dating to around 2500 BCE. Found within the ancient Troy 2 layers, these exquisite objects are shedding new light on the city's status during the early Bronze Age. The brooch, described as one of the finest ever found and one of only 3 known examples worldwide, was crafted with remarkable precision, while the jade stone, possibly imported from China or Afghanistan, suggests Troy was a major player in ancient trade networks. Professor Reyhan Korpe, deputy director of the Troy excavations, called the find one of the most important in the site's 160-year history. The pieces will soon go on display at the Troy Museum, offering a rare glimpse into a world where artistry, craftsmanship, and global commerce intertwined long before the myths of Helen and Achilles took shape. Even after centuries of digging, Troy still keeps its secrets close, and every new discovery proves there's more gold in its soil than even the stories foretold. In and around the mountains of southern Türkiye, archaeologists have uncovered something extraordinary: a Roman bath decorated with carvings of the Egyptian god Tutu. Found at the ancient city of Sagalassos, the marble relief depicts Tutu as a sphinx-like figure, flanked by Horus and Sobek, in a scene symbolizing divine power and protection. What makes it remarkable is its rarity. No other depiction of this Egyptian deity has ever been found outside Egypt itself. The carving, made on local Afyon marble using delicate incision work, shows how far Egyptian artistic influence traveled during the Roman period. Excavation leader Peter Taloan explained that Sagalassos traded extensively with Egypt, exporting wine, ceramics, and agricultural produce, and importing cultural motifs in return. Yet locals weren't worshipping Tutu, they were simply borrowing his image for decoration, blending Roman luxury with exotic mysticism. The marble slabs were first found in 2004, but new analysis this year revealed their true identity and significance. It's an elegant reminder that even in the distant hills of Anatolia, the art and ideas of ancient Egypt could find a home, carried not by conquest, but by commerce and imagination. In a riverside camp near Frankfurt, archaeologists have stumbled upon something that's rewriting our understanding of Stone Age art: the oldest blue paint ever found in Europe. The discovery came from a small, bowl-shaped stone, essentially a prehistoric paint box, used around 14,000 years ago to grind azurite, a deep blue copper mineral. Found decades ago but only recently analyzed with new molecular techniques, the stone still contained traces of this vivid pigment. Until now, almost all known Stone Age art was made in earthy reds, blacks, and yellows. Blue, it seems, was practically unknown. That's what makes this find so startling. Blue minerals are rare, and early humans must have gone to real effort to find and crush azurite. Experts now think the color wasn't for cave walls at all, but for skin, textiles, or wooden masks, perhaps as decoration or even protection against evil spirits. Across cultures, blue has long symbolized safety and divine power, and this may be its earliest expression in Europe. Dr. Izzy Wisher, who led the team, believes it's just the tip of a prehistoric color iceberg, hinting that Stone Age life may have been far more colorful than we've ever imagined. And that's your roundup for this week in archaeology, where the past just keeps refusing to stay buried. From the forgotten artistry of Stone Age painters to the rediscovered wealth of a doomed Spanish fleet, each discovery pulls another thread in the vast, tangled fabric of human history. We've seen proof of Bronze Age craftsmanship at Troy, evidence of ancient life in the Gobi, and camels carved as desert signposts 12 millennia ago. Every find is a reminder that the people who came before us weren't so different, curious, inventive, and a bit obsessed with leaving their mark. If you enjoyed this week's journey through time, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you never miss an episode. Next week, who knows what we'll uncover? A lost city, a new tomb, or something even stranger? Until then, keep digging for the truth, because in archaeology, there's always another layer waiting to be revealed.